Oh, that's fun.
All right, yep, it is recording now. So we are good to go. So we've got Rachel France here. And I will let her introduce herself, but she is a former Minnesotan, now not really live a Minnesotan, well, always a Minnesotan at heart. But she was one of my first players at Augsburg, so she holds a special place in my heart for that and numerous other reasons. But I'll let her give a little bit more about herself, and then we will let her just take it away, talking all about offense on the girls' game tonight.
Okay. Hello. Good evening. Thank you so much, KK, for the introduction. I'm super excited to be a part of this. As soon as KK emailed me about this, I was just really excited to be able to kind of give back to the Minnesota community that really raised me in lacrosse. I am at a Starbucks, so if this music gets too loud and obnoxious, KK, just flag me down and be like, it's not working. um, Otherwise, I have a little presentation, so we're going to go ahead and try this out. Okay. And we're going to find this. Let's see. Maybe, maybe. Oh, let's try one more time. The technical difficulties. Oh, I think I can just present like this. Oh, there we go. Does that work?
Um,
Maybe.
no,
Not quite yet.
all I see is a blank screen.
Cheers. Okay. Can you see it when I have it like this?
Mm, no, it still just shows your face.
Oh, good. In the picture or like my
In the
actual
yeah, in
current
the
face?
picture.
Okay, let's see. Present on this device. Technical difficulties are so fun, aren't they?
They are. I did see
Hmm.
it at first. Like
I
when you
know,
first
that's
were
why.
sharing your screen, I could see it.
Okay, let's see if we can try one more time. Yay or nay?
Yay, I can see it.
Okay, we're just going to do it like this,
Yeah,
just because
yeah.
I think when I put it in presentation mode, it didn't go so well.
Yeah, no worries.
So, we're going to be talking about dodging and shooting today. Just things that we can do, skills and drills that we can learn in order to level up your team's 1v1 attacking skills. So, in this session, we're going to do some dodging drills. We're going to go through maximizing reps, kind of how to structure your practice plan to get as many touches on the ball as possible for your attackers, shooting mechanic drills, and then building some confidence in attackers. Because I think a lot of the shooting issues we have in girls lacrosse are sometimes as female athletes we are a little more tentative to go to the cage because what I've found is girls are really afraid to fail, more so than like the high school boys. I do coach both high school girls and high school boys, and if you tell a high school boy to do a jump shot, he'll be like this and then do like a backflip in the air. Whereas if you tell a girl to do that, she wants to know all the little steps beforehand so that she can do it right. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that too. A little bit about me. I am the founder and CEO of Crossroads Lacrosse, which is my private coaching business. I do one-on-one training in Indianapolis, and wherever that ends up taking me. So was in Illinois a little bit this week to work with a few teams and girls there. I'm the current head coach of Austria women's national team. I was the head coach of Colombia women's national team before this. I've been coaching collegiately for 5 years and high school coaching for 9 years. I am an Augsburg University grad back in 2017, and I have 22 years of playing experience. Safe to say, I love this game, and it has become a much bigger part of my life than I honestly ever imagined it being. So, we're going to talk about a few little things here. Um, First things first, when I go into a shooting or a dodging clinic or practice, I always like to start without a stick. a big thing we like to focus on is little games to warm up with. In my experience with coaching girls and boys, the stereotype that I've found to be pretty common is that girls tend to need to have fun in order to compete, whereas boys need to compete in order to have fun. So starting with like little games to get the girls just more comfortable, or your athletes more comfortable, is a really good practice that I've found to be really successful. Um, in general, these games are working on moving in low athletic stances and changing direction quickly. And they just kind of get the brain strategizing and getting the wiggles out a little bit, especially after sitting all day at school. Sometimes they just need to wiggle and get the wiggles out before they can actually like focus on mechanical drills. So I'm going to share like a few of my favorites. I don't reinvent the wheel with any of these drills. So I take all of these drills from a couple of Instagram accounts. They're like down below. I have Endunamu, I think is how you say it, SC, Compete SC. And then any like PE games are usually like pretty good warm-ups. Like elementary school PE games are usually some pretty good fun ones. A few of my current favorites. Turn tag is a really basic one. You're just in a partner. This is on the Indunamu SC account. Everyone's facing one direction, and one partner will like sneak up to the first partner, tap them on the back, and try to run away as fast as they can. And the person who is like being tapped cannot turn and try to catch them until they feel the tap. So it's really good reaction training, and it's just silly. Rarely do they ever catch anybody unless like your speeds are really not matched up well. But it's just fun. It gets them giggling. We only do it for like maybe 3 minutes. And it's just something silly. Tiger tails, this is a classic. You can do teams or everyone versus everybody. Tuck a little penny in the back of your shorts or your pants. It's got to be able to be visible and grabbable. And then I like to do that to work on defensive stance and just like protecting your backside. So like I need to see girl and ball. Well, in tiger tails, I just need nobody to grab the tail from my pants. That's a really classic one. Color cone tag is another one that I've really been loving so far. You put 3 cones in a little triangle, maybe like 2 feet apart. It's a really small triangle, and they're in a trio. You'll have 3 different colors. So maybe I have red, yellow, and blue. Coach will call out like right, right, left, left, right, left, right, left. And you have to shuffle in that direction to that cone. And then eventually the coach will call out a color. So I'll say red, that color needs to get the heck away. And the other 2 colors, if you land on that cone, you're trying to tag them. It's really quick game of tag, but it is such a brain puzzle to figure out like, where am I supposed to be moving? Am I it? Am I not it? Am I supposed to be running away or running towards them? And that's, again, all these games are on these 2 accounts that are linked on the bottom. Square swap roulette is also a really fun one. 5 or 6 athletes. It's like a really small big base, the game big base in gym. You have like 4 bases about 5 yards apart. And there are 2 people caught in the middle, and everyone else is in a square. All 4 people are in a square. Then 2 are in the middle. And you're trying, in 2 minutes, you're trying to move squares as many times as you can. And the people are trying not to get caught in the middle. So constantly people are like switching. And as soon as you step out of a square, everybody else has to move. So if one person moves, everybody has to move. You're trying not to get caught in the middle. I love doing a classic 1 push-up penalty for being caught in the middle. It's enough motivator. They don't want to do a push-up, so they'll definitely try to do it. And it's just something fun, get the wiggles out, get them giggling, but also like thinking like an athlete with all of these games. So I cannot recommend those 2 Instagram accounts high enough, or just go back to your PE gym class. Just think about any fun little games, sharks and minnows, I don't know, blob tag, whatever else you want to play. This is something that I always do in every single practice or clinic that I do. It's just something that takes about 5 minutes, gets them moving. So we're going to go into dodging first. A few dodging quick hits that we'll talk about. Number 1 is shin angles. We're going to talk about like physics of dodging and how do I get my body moving in another direction. Number 2, we'll talk about selling your move with your shoulders and your eyes. I like to tell girls, like, think of the most dramatic person that you know and throw this dodge how they would throw the dodge. Third thing we'll talk about is like that 0 to 100. So we like to say like weaponize the slow. My slow speed can be a weapon when I use it right before I'm about to go really fast. I need to be changing my pace in order for my dodges to be effective. Last thing we'll talk about a little bit is the time and space. I want to be about a stick length away from my defender before I'm throwing my dodge, and that each step is going to take me towards the cage. There's this phrase called downhill dodging. Every step should be taking me downhill towards the cage, like I can't stop my momentum. I'm just going, going, going. So we're going to talk about a few specific drills that I like to use that I found are good for every single level. This allows each girl to find success. I don't think the video is going to play through here, but when I send this presentation, you'll be able to watch this little video. The first one is our gate drill. A gate drill, you'll have two girls. You'll have three girls. One girl is on this close little circle next to the gate drill word. That's our first cone. She's going to be the one going. The other two girls are going to be on the far cone. Then there are 4 cones set up, and the numbers 1, 2, 3 indicate 3 open gates or doors. So when on go, the 2 girls on the right are going to run up and fill in 2 of those gates, but they're going to be kind of sneaky about it. The girl who's going with her stick in the ball on the left, she's going to be running up, and she has to wait for them to close 2 of the gates with their bodies, react, and find the open gate. So this video, I don't think it's probably not going to play. Yeah, it will not be playing, but that's all right. There is an example of that drill. That one, again, just gets them kind of moving in a reaction pattern of like, where is the open space that I need to be putting my body in? You can also level this up and add checking. So I usually do it first without sticks, and then I'll add sticks, and we can add a little bit of that checking. So they're working on protecting their stick away from the girls as they go. So for example, if 2 girls on the far right cone come up and they fill gate 1 and 2, the athlete on the left would have to quickly adjust and get through gate 3 and protect her stick in the meantime. They could fill 1 and 3, they could fill 2 and 3, they could like kind of scheme ahead of time and like maybe do a little trick move and do 2 and 3, but it looks like they were doing 1 and 3. So they tend to have a lot of fun with this one in challenging themselves. The next one I really like to do is a classic little split dodge. I teach this with colorful cones. So if you'll see my little smiley face, that stands for a girl. So she is going to be on that at the cone with a smiley face. And in this situation, she's going to be splitting from her left hand to the right hand. So she's going towards the left. There are those 3 colorful cones. She's going to step with her right foot at the blue cone, her left foot at the red cone, and then split to her right hand as she steps to the blue cone with her right foot and goes around her defender. So it teaches this 3-step split mechanics as we're like faking one direction, pulling back the other direction. It's almost like a fake face dodge, and then we end up with the split. I am going to stop presenting and like demo that real quick if that's okay. Okay, fantastic. Let's see. Stop sharing. And okay, perfect. This is so funny. Okay, so with the gate drill, I can just approach and then figure out where I need to go. It's like a kind of like a basketball reaction. We're just looking at like that quick finding and opening. With my split, if I'm starting in my left hand, I'm gonna have 3 steps. I'm stepping with my right foot, with my left foot, and then I'm stepping with my right foot again and splitting my hands. If I'm starting with my right foot, same thing. It's a 3-step split. Stepping with the opposite foot as my top hand. So faking this way, pulling back to the right like I'm gonna do a face dodge, and splitting through again. I've found that colorful cones are super, super helpful, especially for maybe the girls who are a little bit newer. It's really nice to have like color coordination of like, okay, blue is for my right foot, red is for my left foot. And that is like a really good scaffold as we're getting to build up their confidence and muscle memory into that one. The next drill I am going to talk about is just classic little roll dodges. So I'm going to present again. We can do this. Yes. And 3, 2, 1. And yes, it's almost there. Success. Yes? Okay. Fantastic. All right. For our roll dodges, what we'll talk about with our roll dodges, I like to just put a zigzag of cones out, and we talk about staying in the lane. So if I have 3 cones out, and let's say the girl is starting on the left and the goal is going to the right, she's going to be driving down in that lane, but she's got a zigzag, keeping her stick towards the middle. So she's always rolling back towards the middle. In this situation, let's say she starts on the N in the word frozen. She's starting right here. Okay, she's going to be in her left hand driving to that first cone because she's going to the left. She'll roll back into her right hand, go to the next cone, this one. There we go. And then keep her hands, well, switch her hands back to the left hand. She'll go to the last cone, switch her hands back to the right cone, and then go for a shot, or you can do an outlet pass or just run. This is a really good one for defenders as well. Just like changing directions and figuring out how do I keep my stick in the same place. We talk about keeping our stick frozen and just moving our body around our stick. So I'm going to stop presenting again so I can show that. Stop sharing. And you're stuck with me. Beautiful. Okay, so as I'm coming, oh, there we go. As I'm coming, if I'm coming up in my left hand, I'm going to turn and protect my stick. My stick stays here as I move my body around my stick, and then I'm in my right hand. So I like to talk about like the Incredibles movie and the character Frozone. What does he do? He freezes things. Amazing. So as I'm coming with my stick, Frozone comes and freezes it, but my body has to get around. So I'm moving my body around my stick, switching my hands, and now it's in my right. It's unfrozen. I can leave and go do what I want to do. Sometimes this helps, like if they're having trouble with it, just go hold their stick. I'll just like grab it and I'll be like, okay, get to the other side with your body. And they're like, okay. And it's perfect. So you can always use like partners to do that. You can step in and do that. But the roll dodge, like those really little mechanics of like, where do I put my stick? I need to protect my stick as I'm going. So I always want to have it hidden. You can also talk about like hiding it from the defender. So how am I going to hide this ball if my defender is in front of me? I need to hide it with my shoulders and my head, and I'm going to keep it hidden. Don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look. Okay, and then I'm coming this way. So I'm always making sure that it's protected and away from the defender. So those are like 3 of my go-tos when it comes to dodging. I'm going to continue sharing. Let's see. This is cute. Like, start broadcast. Yes, start the broadcast. Here we go. Okay. So those are some of my favorites with that one. I'm going to go back a slide, talk about a couple of these things again. With all of these, I'm focusing on how do I turn my body with my shin. I need to make sure that my foot is getting perpendicular to my motion. If you're thinking, I always talk about like, okay, let's say coach says, get on the line, we're running sprints. Are you going to get to the end of that line, cross the line, have a little tea party, turn around, and then go back? No, you're going to get in and out of that as fast as possible. You're probably not even going to let your shoulders get all the way over the line. Maybe if your coach is having you touch the line with your hand, you're barely touching it with your fingers and you're going back the other direction. You're going to need to turn your chest, you're going to need to turn your trunk, and you're going to need to put your foot parallel to the line, which is perpendicular to the direction that you're going. So we're working on physics. How can I push myself back in the other direction? So footwork is actually super, super important, especially for that roll dodge of like, how do I get my feet turned around? There are some really, really good Instagram videos that break this down that I'm happy to also like send in a link to this one. It's just fantastic. They talk through every little thing. If you follow Coach Tintle on Instagram, he's probably the best person for this. He talks a lot about shin angles and working with physics to get your body moving in the other direction. With selling your move with our split dodge, we're working on using our eyes and our shoulders to show I'm faking this way, and then I'm finally splitting the other direction. So all of these things, I always mention all four of these things anytime I'm teaching some dodging. Those are like a few of my favorite catchphrases I get. I'm sure my athletes are sick of me saying all of these things. They hate that I'm an actual physics teacher because I'll say something, I'll just go, physics. And they don't tend to like that very much, but I think it's pretty fun. Okay, now let's move on a little bit into some shooting. I think this is the most fun part of the game. Um, Again, we're going to start without a stick. Uh, Power shooting and shooting form is just pitcher's training, but especially power shooting is just pitcher's training. If you watch a pitcher throw a ball and you watch Charlotte North shoot a ball, their mechanics are identical. So we're talking about things like rotation. Where is my core rotating? I need to drive forward and then down. If I just throw the ball down, it's not going to get to the plate if I'm a pitcher. I have to drive it forward, but I also don't want to throw it super high. This is not a ball that's like arcing. I need to get it to its target quickly. I'm also going to aim with my feet and with my follow through. A pitcher is not going to like just throw willy nilly. They're always going to use their entire body in that throw. Like that's why you'll see them like on their pitcher's mound, they end up like 2 steps in front of it sometimes because they've thrown so much of their power towards the goal. So I really love to start just with a ball in the hand. And we talk about like how would a pitcher throw this ball, and you'll see people and they know exactly how a pitcher throws a ball. They know exactly what to do, and it's just a little harder to do with a stick initially. So this can be a good thing to do to kind of break it down first. Some of those shooting quick hits, my favorite things to say, I always talk about rotating 180 degrees. So when I'm shooting, I have my chest open to one side of the field. And in my shot, during my shot, I'm going to rotate my chest and my shoulders 180 degrees to the other side. To add power, I'm just going to do that faster and faster and faster. You'll watch this with Charlotte North as she winds up for her power shot. Her chest will be perpendicular to the goal, 90 degrees to the goal. As she shoots, her release is when her shoulders and her chest are open to the goal, and then she finishes all the way to the other side. So we're always talking about rotating 180 degrees to get the maximum power. The other thing we talk about, again, I'm a physics teacher, so transfer of energy. How do I get my energy, which is standing upright, towards the goal? And we'll go through a few of these in the drill. My recent favorite is I've been saying wherever your belly button points, that's where your power is going to go. Because that's a really good marker for where my core is pointing, is where my belly button points. If I'm shooting and my belly button is pointing towards the right, it's probably going to go in that direction. Or you'll see a lot of girls as they're running across the 8 and they don't like rotate their body at all. They just kind of try to dunk it in. Those shots tend to be a lot softer because their power is still going across the 8 as opposed to down towards the goal. Okay, and then the last thing is denying your pickpocketer and blocking your pocket. So we're going to talk about all about these things in this set of drills that I have, and I'll kind of demo a few of those things. KK, let me know if it gets too loud in here. There's a lot of noise happening. Okay, so shooting drills that I love. So we have a catch and switch shooting. This square that's over on the right is the goal. And I like to give numbers for corners. So yes, it's great to have a goalie, but oftentimes you're not going to have a goalie, or your goalies are going to have to be doing other things because the number of reps that they're going to get in this type of shooting drill is just not conducive to them having a good time. So I always like to have the partner or whoever is passing the ball to the person call out a number. And that also helps a little bit with reaction training. You'll quickly figure out like who has the processing speed needed to be a sharp attacker, and who is just kind of hoping for the best when they're shooting the ball. I do have an Instagram video for this one. I am going to see if this works. KK, you let me know. Okay, so there are a couple of drills in here, but number 2 is the one that we're going to focus on. So what Sadie is doing here, she is perpendicular to the goal. She has her left hand up to catch the ball, And then as soon as she catches, she's going to switch hands and rotate so that her right hand is then shooting the ball. I'm going to back that up a little bit if I can, maybe. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now we're going to get out of there for a second. So catch and switch. I like to have two lines going. So there are two girls facing each other about 2 sticks length away. And then there are two lines back behind them. So in that video, you'll see that I was passing to Sadie from the top, and her stick is on the inside to start. She's catching, switching, keeping it on the inside, rotating to shoot. So she did not take any steps. This is purely accuracy shooting, and this is also working on just getting our power from our core. So we're not taking a big step down to try to like push the ball forward. We're trying to engage our core to rotate and get that 180-degree rotational power. When she catches, her chest is open to me. When she shoots, her chest has to be open towards the goal. So that's the 180 degrees of rotation that we're getting in that one. Our 3-line shooting, this is a classic. I'm actually going to, I think, draw this on a whiteboard, which I happen to have at this Starbucks. Okay, let's do this. Thanks for bearing with me, people. Okay, thank you so much. I got a half hour. All right. So let's say this is you know what, we're just going to do it like this. Okay, if this is my goal, I'm going to put my goal in the middle here. I like to put 3 lines of girls, okay? And then they have people passing to them. So I have my lines going this way. All right, here's the goal at the USA Lacrosse little piece, crease. This is really close to the cage. These girls are all going at the same time, so this is not for a goalie. She would get 3 shots at the exact same time. No goalie. This is for a Hector only. So this girl is going to pass. She's going to catch, rotate, and shoot. Again, we are not taking a step. So what I teach is if she is in her right hand, since that would turn and keep her stick closest to the cage, this girl is going to be in her left hand. This girl gets to choose. Super, super fun. I'm pretty sure we did this at Augsburg. But I'm going to catch and stay in this hand on my right side. Now, what I teach, I put my right foot forward with my right hand forward, catch, pivot to the inside. Then I have my left foot forward when I'm finishing. I can shoot over the top of that, no problem. Same thing with the left. If I'm in my left hand, I have my left foot forward. I'm pivoting open, and then I'm shooting over my right leg. I would have good shooting form with that. Again, this is a good accuracy drill, but this is more about just like maximizing reps. I want my girls to get as many touches on the ball as possible. They love this one. You shoot, you get back in line. You shoot, you get back in line. You shoot, you get back in line. And then we go through it like 3 times. So everyone's taking a turn at each line. You can also have the girl who passes give them numbers. I love numbers. So you could say like 2 or even like 3-2. So they have to fake to the first corner and then shoot to the second corner. So there are truly levels for everybody here. If you have brand new girls, they can do this drill. You can even just have like their partner set the ball in their stick if that is going to be like a drill killer, them having to catch it if it's like they're truly their day one. And you can also have them doing the drill with your highest level players. You're calling out like 2 numbers to fake to and finishing to a last number. Or you can even tell them like, okay, it has to be like a center of the face, or it has to be a crossover, or something fun. So this one is just like a classic. I think you can cater it to any single athlete that you have. All right, what did I have for our last one? Start broadcast. This is so fun. Love technology. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then our last one. This is actually a pitcher's drill. I got this from a baseball pitcher. This one is one of my favorites. It is another Instagram link, but this one is a little bit longer. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. So it is truly a pitcher's drill. You're going to have them start on their back foot, fall over the line onto their front foot, and almost like they're about to do a cartwheel. So I like to talk about our cartwheel. I need to have, when I'm doing a cartwheel, I go foot, hand, hand, foot. So like my back leg comes up last. I want to get my whole body over the line. When I finish, I'm finishing on the far end of that line, the closer to the goal. So this works on transferring my power, because at the start of this video, at the start of this drill, my power is keeping me up. I'm standing upright, and I need to get that transferred forward towards the goal. Another way I like to describe this is if your girls have ever done yoga, there's warrior one, there's warrior two, and if you get deep enough into it, there's warrior three. And you're gonna finish in like a warrior three kind of pose. You can also talk about finishing in the letter T. You wanna finish on one foot with your other foot and your arms reaching in the opposite directions. So this is a classic. I absolutely love this one. Another good one just for like easy reps for your attackers and middies. If you're just like, okay, we need like a little shooting drill to happen over here. You can have like a few girls going at the same time, but you're just working on really, really big power. So going back to a couple of those little quick hits, with all of these, we're talking about this. Where's my belly button pointing? In those drills, by the end of it, I need my belly button to be pointing towards the goal when I'm shooting. The denying pickpocketer and blocking your pocket, I'm going to demo that one super fast. Lots of just in and out of here. Okay, so let's say, hold on, we're gonna be there. Oh yeah, okay, Starbucks. Okay, now if I'm shooting, let's say I'm at an amusement park. Oh, actually, I do have my phone in my pocket. Let's put my phone in my pocket right in here. Okay, now if I'm a righty and I'm going to shoot, I like to talk about like a pickpocketer coming in to grab my phone right here. If I feel that at an amusement park, I'm not just gonna let that happen. I'm probably gonna like swipe back. I'm gonna say, don't touch my phone, and maybe even give them a bloody nose in the process, which would be great for me. So not good for them. As I'm shooting, I talk about bringing my stick all the way to the other side of my body, denying my pickpocketer, and I take my stick and I actually block both of those pockets. Oftentimes with power shots, you'll get girls' hands like trapped in this little space. I'm not using this left arm at all. It's like trapped here. I'm only using one half of my body. And like, I need all the power I can get. So I know I need to use this bottom hand. So as I'm pulling across, I like to talk about denying your pickpocketer. And you can even have girls like shoot and freeze. And then you can be like, okay, can someone get your phone? And they'll look down and they'll be like, oh. So we're working on that full rotation and denying our pickpocketer. It works in the left too. I'm denying my pickpocketer every single time I'm shooting, just building those good habits. That is something I like to talk about a lot. I think it's a really good, like, everyone loves their phones. So it's a really good way to get them like caring about where their stick is actually finishing up. All right, let's start that broadcast again. I think half of this series is going to be just me like looking at my phone or like looking at my iPad trying to figure out technology. Okay, so let's move on here. All right, so there are some little things that I really, really love to talk about in lacrosse. In all of my one-on-one sessions and all of my clinics, I'll mention these few things like the little quick hits in the dodging and the shooting. But then there are a few other little things that over the years that I've been coaching, over the years that I've been playing, that have really like developed me a lot, that are tiny little fixes. So these little things. Number one, cats don't play lacrosse. And you might be like, well, no crap, Rachel, but why the hell are you telling me this? Cats don't have opposable thumbs, and we do. And oftentimes girls will not use their thumbs on their stick. And this is something that like you really genuinely don't ever think about. But once you are aware of where your thumbs are on your stick and how they assist you, it is a huge, huge, huge game changer. So with that said, we're going to stop this broadcast and talk about it real quick. Okay, all right. So what I like to teach is first I'll take my bottom hand and I'm going to give my stick a thumbs up. So my strings are facing away from me. My thumb is on the back skinniest part of my stick. A lot of girls are like shocked when you're like, feel your stick. Are all the sides the same? And they'll be like, wait, no, what? And I'm like, that's for a reason. Otherwise, you'd be like, pass me the ball. And you wouldn't know what way your stick is facing. So these beautiful shapes are here for a reason. The teardrop shaped shaft is the best shaft for this reason, because these ones, I love them, but the front and the back are the same exact size and shape. So that's why you'll get some girls like every once in a while catching on the back of their stick accidentally. You don't see them like catch like this very often. So I like to teach, give your stick a thumbs up. So I'm putting my thumb on the back skinniest part of my stick. I'm gonna open my top hand and lay my stick in there. Now, a lot of girls will just death grip it. This is not gonna allow me my wrist flexibility. Like my wrist is stuck here. This is confining me. So I'm gonna have my palm open and put my thumb on the fattest side of the stick that's facing me. Every shaft I've ever played with has the fattest side, like on the side that faces you and faces away from you. For STX, I put my thumb on like the T. I think that's a pretty good way to figure out where I need to be having my hands for shooting. Now, this puts me in a nice triple threat position. This is the triple threat bottom hand cradle that a lot of like the college girls do, the better high school girls do. It's something that's super awkward, but once they develop it, it's amazing. And your thumbs can play a huge, huge, huge role in this. From this position, I can fake, I can pass, I can dodge, I can shoot. That triple threat position is not just with my hands here. With this, I don't have a lot of control on my wrists of where I'm going to release that ball. With my thumbs on the stick, I can point my thumbs exactly where I want to go. So if I am trying to no look pass over there, as long as I point my thumbs in that direction, the ball is going to go in that direction. If I want to no look pass over there, as long as I point my thumbs in that direction, ball is going to go over there, because my stick is exactly pointing in that direction, because I know exactly where my strings are, because my thumbs are in the places that they should be in. When I have that death grip, sometimes even when I do that no look pass, my stick ends up curved or turned in a different way, and it's not going to be as reliable. So it's this tiny little thing. Put your thumb on your stick and figure out where your thumbs need to be. I also talk about this of like, if a girl's having trouble with her non-dominant hand, I'll say, okay, take a shot in your right hand and freeze. Okay, where are your thumbs? And she looks and she figures it out. I'm like, okay, do the exact same thing on your left hand. So then it's working on building that muscle memory and that confidence in our non-dominant hand of, okay, where do my thumbs need to be? This also is a game changer for accuracy. If you're like, okay, put your thumbs on your stick, point your thumbs to corner one. And they're like, oh, wow, amazing. So if your girls are having trouble with that accuracy, that's a really nice thing. And whenever you say cats don't play lacrosse, they're going to look at you like a crazy person, but they'll listen. So it's the shock factor. That is my favorite. Okay, let's go back to this thing. This is well timed so far. I'm feeling good about this timing. Okay, number 2, not every shot will have perfect form, but muscle memory is a really powerful thing. So sometimes like girls will get really caught up on the fact that like, well, I need to rotate, like I need to do this. As soon as I'm like telling them these things all the time, they'll think about them all the time, which is awesome. But a lot of the players that I see are perfectionists. So reminding them that it's not going to be perfect every time. You're not going to have space to rotate every time. You're not going to have space to do this beautiful 180-degree rotation and follow through and down to your pocket. That's the goal. That's going to make a really pretty shot and a really accurate and powerful shot, but it's not going to happen every time. So just building up that muscle memory as much as you can so that they don't have to think about it in the game. It just kind of happens. And when it doesn't happen, their body isn't as like shocked. Their body is naturally going through that motion. Maybe they get stopped by a defender or something, but muscle memory can be super, super powerful. So as many reps as you can possibly get them, that's what's going to be helpful. And I know it's hard to build that into practice, but hopefully those 3 drills at least can help you get a little bit more, a few more reps in for them. And number 3, encouragement goes a long way. We've talked about it a couple times so far. A lot of the girls that play on our teams are perfectionists, myself included. So being able to like encourage them throughout all the mistakes and saying like, all right, get back in there, try again, and not getting caught up on like, oh, that was a bad shot, but like, okay, now that shot was some intel. what do you think you might need to change? And if they're like, well, I don't know, that's when you can kind of be like, okay, well, maybe try this. Where are your thumbs? Are you rotating? Where's your belly button pointing? Is your pickpocketer able to get your phone? These little things you can kind of throw in there. But just like, hey, you got it, you got it, you got it. Like, just encouragement is going to go such a huge long way for those shooters, because they tend to be a little bit in their heads, which leads me into building confidence in attackers. One of my favorite phrases, especially when I'm working with a new client, is that I say the first few are not supposed to be good. Like, they're supposed to be bad. You're learning something new. Or if a girl does like a demo and it doesn't go well, or the first rep doesn't go well, I'm like, perfect. That's exactly what the first one should look like. Now we can go up from here because we've gotten this weird one out of the way, and we're gonna maybe have a couple other weird ones, and then we'll have a couple good ones, but maybe we'll have another weird one mixed in there because it's life. But telling them, like, I don't want the first few to be good. I want the first few to be really bad. I want you to try the extremes. Try the biggest one, try the smallest one, try all of the different kinds, and figure it out. The first ones shouldn't be good at all. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
40 minutes and second.
Thank you. I just got some free food. Wow, this is amazing. Bonus. Okay. So things I like to do: motion without ball first. Let them get some dry reps in, just in there as when they're in line, as you're explaining it, having them practice with their pickpocketer, making mistakes at full speed. That's something I like to encourage. Like, yes, we can take the first few slow, but then just go for it. Fail faster. The faster you fail at it, the sooner you're going to find success. One of my favorites is no sorries. I think women often apologize for things that don't need an apology. So instead of saying, especially Midwesterners, so instead of saying like, sorry, if I make a bad pass, like, I don't need to say sorry. I can just be like, oh, I got you next time. Or I let them say a good old Midwestern ope. They're allowed to say ope, but they don't get to say sorry. I would just say, like, find phrases that work for you and the athletes. Like, they might work for you, and if they're not hitting with the athletes, they're not going to be effective. So try out a bunch of different things, see what hits, see what sticks, see what they're then repeating to each other, because those are the ones that are going to be the ones that stick around. My favorite thing is when I first introduced my rule of no sorries, and then for the next 10 minutes, it's just girls yelling at each other not to say sorry. It's like my favorite part of every clinic that I do. So find the things that stick. Last thing, reps on reps on reps on reps on reps on reps, and give them some homework. If they don't have a goal, you can put tape on a chain link fence. You can put a piece of string up that's 6 by 6 by 6. You can put some paper plates up there. You can stuff a water bottle in a chain link fence. Like, there are lots of little things you can do, but give them some homework. Like, give them tasks to do, so that they can continue building on those skills that you've been practicing. Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you for bearing with me in some technological challenges and the fact that we're in a Starbucks. I am happy to answer any questions that you have, and please, I've got a ton of drills on Instagram, so go follow that. I am a big fan of not gatekeeping any drills or any lacrosse information. So I'm happy to make specific videos that you want to see, or answer any specific questions. Otherwise, I've got a ton of resources on there that I absolutely love to share. This is what I love to do, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to share with you today.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. This was amazing. And I think there's lots to be gained from this for any level that people are coaching. So I think even from the beginning of beginners and those 8U coaches all the way up to people that have been playing for 5 years, you can change a lot of this stuff up and still have your athletes get stuff out of it.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, I will stop the recording so we will be all good to go, unless you have anything else to add.
I don't got anything else to add.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Great. Stopping.